So we had our place to go to sign up. And there was a doctor there, examined you, and he had to take a blood test. So he took the needles, put it into your vein without the syringe. Then he turned around and looked for a syringe. Meanwhile, the blood was coming down, and I'm watching the blood hitting my shoe, and I'm starting to see the room turn. I'm ready to faint. And he came over, he said, "Put your head between your legs." I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. The idea, put your head between your legs. Well, we got over that, and then we got on a bus, and we went down to Governor's Island. And we had a complete examination. This was a week later after we were up to the board. And we were all nude and getting shots left and right, full examinations, walking around from one place to the other. Then we had tests to see if you're going to make officers training school. And we were ready to get to ship out. That's where I took my basic training, Fort Stewart, Savannah. And that was a miserable hole. It wasn't too far off the Okefenokee swamps. And we found out that we're part of artillery, but anti-aircraft, the 40 millimeter guns. But we trained first as infantry with the packs out of back, 20-mile hikes, getting on the barbed wire while a machine gun was going off over your head. All the stuff that the infantry gets. And some made it, some didn't. But we survived that. But every time the top kick, which was the top sergeant, would look at us with his hands on his hips and say, "Nah, you guys ain't gonna make it. You're the worst bunch I ever had." And in the Army, you were like nothing. They broke you from whatever you believed in, whatever you had, and made you over to think the way the Army thinks. And that's the way you had to live. Right, you didn't question an order. You didn't have to say, "Do I have to do that, Captain?" You were dead. So we used to go out and we had a plane drag a target, and we'd be up there shooting away, and man, we had a ball. In fact, one time, I don't know if it was one of our guns or some other gun, but it hit the plane. And he went down into the Okefenokee swamps. We had to go out and look for him. Luckily, he was alive. The plane was wrecked, but he was alive. But that was our training. And we continued to train, and then we went overseas. We had found out the day before we were going to North Africa. And everybody said, "Africa? Tarzan? What?" You know, we had no idea that. Yeah, we landed in Oran. And things went on from there. Well, I was overseas a little over a year already when we made the Anzio landing. And being there a few weeks, I get a letter from my crowd. It said, "Sunday we were all on a block, we were playing stickball. We had a great time. You were the only one that wasn't there." Boy, that made me feel great. And then he said to me, because in those days, we had the hit parade, and if you guessed the number one song, you got a carton of cigarettes. And the number one song was Dozy Oats and Mares Eat. I don't know, but it sounded so crazy. I was reading it, I said, "What the heck is that?" It seemed to be a little ditty from a fairy tale of some kind.
Maresy dotes and dozy dotes and little lambsy divey, a kiddly-divey do wouldn't do. Maresy dotes and dozy dotes and little lambsy divey, a kiddly-divey do.
Now, landing in Oran, we landed at a pier a little away from the main city. And while we were embarking, we saw lights, big bright Klieg lights going after planes on top. And they were raiding, the Germans were, or maybe it was the Italian planes there, raiding the port. And we were sitting on a hill watching all that, and this is the first time we saw actual combat. And all the heroes that were running around in camp can't wait to use their rifles to get in a fight. The look on their faces were completely different. Right. Because they have people who are shooting back. And there was a friend, Josie, from Atlantic City that I was sitting with. And he asked one of the GIs, I was unloading the ship, he says, what do you got to drink around here? And he says, well, if you can find it, there's vino. And I don't know, something clicked in my body. Although I never drank, playing stickball, being on a hill, doing things that, American kids did, never bothered about beer or anything. And I said to Josie, wow, hope we can get a glass of vino. Somehow or other, from then on, that's all we looked for. All through the war, wherever we got into somebody's house, where's the vino? And we went out from there, we went to Naples. Naples was a little rough. Well, it was pretty rough, the landing coming in there. Although we weren't there on the first day, but there was still plenty of firepower. And we made it. We were still our outfit, 536. We were in our outfit. Then we had positions in Naples. Then we kept moving up in Italy. And then when they had all this fighting at Casino, it seemed that there was an abbey, which was a church thing, and we weren't allowed to touch the church. And they were up on a mountain, and they could see whatever troops was going on, whatever was coming up. And we tried to get that abbey. When I say we, it wasn't my outfit, it was them. And no matter what, the casualties were into the hundreds, and we couldn't make it. So they decided to go to Anzio, which was about maybe 30, 40 miles down, to take the pressure off Casino. And we had 2 good days of sitting around, no firing, no nothing. But on the 3rd day, it opened up, boy. They didn't relieve Casino. He brought in about 3-4 divisions from the Balkans, and they had the mountains. We went 10 miles in and stopped at the mountains, and they wrecked us. There was an outfit, a ranger outfit, a battalion that got wiped out. They had one small city about 5 miles in. It was called the Pickle Factory because that was the one thing that they had going there. And they wiped them out. And those bodies laid there for months. We couldn't go in and get them because we were under artillery fire night and day. And we were just battling artillery. Troops weren't doing too much except going out patrols to find out what's going on. So there was a little fighting, then we got an idea, tanks are coming. So we got our guns down, ready to fight tanks. But every morning at about 6 in the morning, we'd have the Luftwaffe up there. Coming down, dive bombing in, dropping, and suddenly we got American planes. And they were the black pilots from what now they call them the Red Tails. Boy, they were terrific. Man, they got rid of those Germans. That place got clear, except nights when they used to come over, drop flares, and we knew the bombers were coming. When a flare was dropped, it lit up everything. Besides that, they had a little gun that they called the Anzio Express, which the barrel was as long as a flat car. And they used to pull it out of the mountain, it was in a tunnel. They used to pull it out, and it would rake that beachhead from left to right every night. And it kept going. God forbid you got caught in one of those. It was December of '44. We broke up my unit. I got sent into a station hospital in Rome, and boy, that was great. When I got into that, I weighed 133 pounds. When we got shipped out in August, getting ready to go down the Pacific, I weighed 168. I had a ball. I ate with the patients. I ate with the with the crew. I was in the office typing. Now a crazy thing happened. This German doctor with an accent, he saw that I was doing the typing with all that stuff. He figured I had maybe some medical knowledge. He took me under his wing. He says, you come with me. Then I used to help him with spinal taps. They used to put the key in it, the big needle in. He used to give me a shot, 1 or 2 shots where it sort of pulled you up like a little ball. And through there, that whole needle went in. It was like this long. And he pulled out the stopper, and they had a little test tube, and the spinal liquid would go in. To me, I figured he's going to cripple the guy. but yet he knew what he was doing. I helped about 3 or 4 of these things. And as they were bringing in a lot of troops with pneumonia, he gave me a stethoscope, and he says, here's what you do. You put it on their back, and you ask them to say, 66, 66. And if you hear the whistle, he says, they got it. So I was doing that. The GIs didn't know who the heck I was. I didn't have any bars.
Right.
And I'm walking around with a stethoscope. And they started asking me for different medications. I didn't want to tell them, well, I can't do nothing. I said, okay, you know, I'll write it down and all that. And I did. I used to bring it to the nurse outside. I said, this is what these guys want. They all wanted codeine.
Right.
Because codeine had liquor, whatever was in it, but it used to put them to sleep. A lot of crazy things happen in war. Yeah, there's good things. You meet nice people. That was my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined by his sons. United States Army Private First Class Manny Beckerman. From Boynton Beach, Florida, by way of the Bronx. He served in World War II. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation.